So vitamin C, yes, let's talk about it. Let's go down that rabbit hole. So first things first, you gotta know this. The reason why I like vitamin C so much is because it addresses the big three. And anybody who's like in the health food movement, in the natural health food industry, maybe they're a natural doctor, and even MDs nowadays are taught the big three. And basically, what is the big three? It's immunity, it's energy, and the healing process in and of itself. So we know if we can address those three issues, anybody under any condition, any disease whatsoever will experience some benefit, at least in some way, shape, or form. And vitamin C is unique. It's one of those few natural elements, those few natural substances on earth that address the big three almost immediately, or start addressing the big three in such a way that an individual's life, in their life, they'll be able to say and notice some benefit in some way, shape, or form. So, that's a rabbit hole. Let's delve in. Okay, so immunity. Viruses and flus, or viruses and those bacteria. We have to have an immune system to fight them, obviously. And I think most people know that. So the scenario is, it's flu season. Wouldn't you know it, you're the lucky one who got the flu. So now what? Now is your body's time to battle the flu. I am almost 100% sure, positive, that you've heard, if you caught the cold, then take some vitamin C. It'll help with your immune system. And then maybe if you went to the doctor and you said, hey doc, I got the cold, I feel like I want to take more vitamin C. He or she may say, hey, you know what? Yeah, sure. It's not going to hurt. But they're not going to confidently say, oh yes, take that vitamin C. You need to get on that ASAP because it'll help you out. Most doctors won't really recommend vitamin C that way. And why is that? Well, the research is kind of divided. And that's kind of what we need to talk about for 2 seconds. So if you actually look at the real research studies and articles, you'll see half of them, or more than half of them, say, oh yeah, the vitamin C, if you have, the flu, if you're infected by a virus, you need to be on vitamin C. And then the other half say, well, after, our thorough investigation, we have concluded that, supplementation with vitamin C doesn't necessarily lengthen the duration of how somebody feels when they're infected by a flu virus. Now, the tricky part is in the wording and in the language, so we need to break it apart a little bit. First of all, vitamin C is absolutely, just to clarify, fundamental for our ability to fight viruses. Men don't really have any natural predators. We have something far worse, and that is a virus. You see these little guys that you can't see. It's been 10,000 years since the invention of language, and we just recently, the last 50 years have invented something that we can begin to see what viruses look like. Okay, these little guys are our natural predators. Okay, so what they do is they infect a cell, take over our own DNA, start manufacturing other viruses. They kill the cell that they're attacking because they have to mature inside the cell. In order to do that, they need to exchange some pieces of our internal cytoskeletons. What's a cytoskeleton? Well, basically, that's just that structural component that makes a cell look like our cell and keeps it functioning normally. They change all those things around. So it's like if you took a skyscraper and then started adding all these random pillars to it, taking some away, adding some, it would just look like, man, is that building gonna fall? What's going on with it? Anyway, that's going on inside of every single cell that's infected with the virus. Now, yes, we have defense against that, and it comes in the form of kind of two areas. When a cell is infected with a virus, it releases something called interferon. That's part of our immune system, and as it's releasing the interferon, that cell is kind of dying, and it's almost sacrificing itself for the greater good of the whole. So these interferon molecules will float around and attach to other cells nearby. Basically, it does a couple things. It alerts the cell of danger, and the cell responds by almost stopping its production of proteins. So that cytoskeleton that I spoke about earlier is made of proteins. And the virus needs to propagate itself through manufacturing proteins. So that interferon tells the cell, look, right now we're in a tough situation. You just kind of need to stop manufacturing proteins. I'll give you more information later, but just for right now, become in a state of stasis is what it's called. So that cell just kind of just goes dormant around the area of the initially infected cell with the virus. Now, at the same time, concomitantly, we have a very specialized immune cell called a natural killer cell. Its job is to find cells infected with viruses, bacteria, or cancer cells, and then it goes up to that cell, connects with it, and releases all kinds of just poisonous toxins. And it kills the cell. It breaks apart any viral mRNA, anything that the virus has done in that cell basically is liquefied. That's what happens ideally. Now, here is the caveat. The amount of interferon I'm capable of producing and how fast the natural killer cells, those NK cells, how fast they can actually react and how strong they are in the reaction is entirely dependent on how much vitamin C I have access to in my body at that time when I'm infected by a virus. Now, that's what the studies show. If you have vitamin C, normal levels of vitamin C, your ability to fight that virus and actually be successful is increased like tenfold. Now, here's the caveat. Well, there really is no caveat here, but earlier I said we need to clarify some language here. So when we are sick, we only know that by how we feel. So the body makes you feel sick when you're sick. Runny nose, you feel bad, you feel like crap basically. I don't really want to spend time explaining what everybody knows. Okay, so your immune system makes you feel that way. Okay, so when you get an initial attack by a virus or bacteria, your immune system, is alerted to it, and then it makes you feel bad. And when you feel bad, you don't feel like doing anything. And doing stuff when you're sick takes energy away from your immune system, or that part of the body that really needs to protect you from foreign invaders, okay? Now, that has absolutely nothing to do with how long that virus is actually in your body making you feel sick. Kind of. So let's say the good scenario is you got infected by the virus and then you had an appropriate immune response and it killed the virus or it shut the virus down in 15 minutes. You might still feel sick for 3 days because that is an average life cycle of how long the immune system wants to stay active during an attack. So you will be good. You actually will be healthy, but you won't feel healthier probably for 3 days. Now, that also has to do with how educated your immune system is. So if you are one of those people and you're on to cat's claw, you're on to CHAGA, you're on to CORDYCEPS, you're on to RHODIOLA, those things modulate our immune response and they start teaching our immune system, okay, great, the fight has been won, the war is over, now you need to calm down. Those herbs that I just listed help instruct our immune system in that way. So if you have good levels of vitamin C, you will fight the virus and you will win so much more faster if you didn't. Not to mention, most people, not most people, but there's a particular group of individuals who are going to have less vitamin C in their bodies. And that's girls who are on birth control pills and anybody taking acetaminophen. Basically, and we'll get to it in a second when we're talking about energy, but basically those two things tell our body to pee out vitamin C. So just real quick, and I'll mention this again in like 10, hopefully, I was about to say 10 minutes, but I don't want this video to be that long. 10 seconds. Okay, so moving right along, just to clarify, yes, vitamin C is absolutely fundamental for your ability to fight viruses and be successful. Now, you may not feel like vitamin C makes you feel better faster, but make no mistake, it is working in you and it is being very, very effective. Now, that's part of the big three. That would be immunity. Now, I almost held up my middle finger to the camera. That would be funny, but I might need to edit that out. I might not. Okay, the other part, one other aspect of the big three is with energy. So, now this part of energy, just to let you know, anybody who is possibly a couch potato, this is not going to apply to them. Vitamin C helps us produce energy. And the type of energy it produces comes in the form of catecholamines. What's that? Adrenaline, cortisol, noradrenaline, etc. Basically, have you ever heard of the fight or flight response? We need to do away with that terminology and not call it that anymore. We should call it the living in the 21st century response. So anytime we're going to do anything and we want to accomplish a goal, let's say I'm a football player, I catch the ball. At first I was calm, I was just running, I was a receiver, and then I didn't know if I was going to get the ball or not, so I'm still kind of relaxed, but you know what? The quarterback threw me the ball, I caught the ball, now all of a sudden I'm like, oh boy, I got this ball, people are going to be coming for me, I need to run, I need to do all these things, and I'm Our body uses catecholamines for that energy. Or if you are, you're playing a video game, you're on the final boss, happens to me sometimes, my body uses catecholamines for that. Or if you're, a mother or a single father, and you're the single father, you've seen this in movies, the guy goes, his daughter's having her period for the first time, and he goes to like this I don't even know what this section's called, this is just proving my point. That place in the store where you get, what are those even called? The pads that a girl wears when she's on her period. Tampons. Anyway, I totally lost where I was going with that. I'm so distracted, like I'm talking about something I don't even know about. Anyway, at the moment when the father comes up to that aisle, he is releasing some catecholamines. Okay, it's stressful. Is this going to match my daughter? Is it not? I don't even want to think about this. Is there a woman nearby? Our bodies produce catecholamines, adrenaline, noradrenaline, cortisol, when we need to accomplish any goal in life, with work, with your spiritual routine, with your religious routine, with just normal day-to-day cooking and driving. We think of energy, and we only think of, most of the time, sugar, maybe some fat if you're on, the ketogenic diet, and then maybe some caffeine, if you like your energy drinks, your coffees, I like those. I like those things. I don't really like energy drinks. I like coffee. Anyway, that's what we kind of think of with energy, but that's not the type of energy our body prefers to use when we need to accomplish our goals, our tasks in the 21st century. We have to have those catecholamines, which are entirely dependent on our body's initial quantity of vitamin C. There's an enzyme that our body has to have active in order to get those catecholamines. It's called a hydroxylase, basically. It's dopamine beta hydroxylase. So the vitamin C comes along and it donates a couple of electrons to this enzyme, and it is able to produce that energy that we need. So maybe if you're looking on the internet, you'll see, yes, vitamin C helps with energy. But just to clarify, the type of energy that we need, this is also the type of energy we need to overcome a sickness. This is also the type of energy we need for healing, especially, maybe if we have autoimmune disease, something like that, Lyme disease, something like that. I'm not saying vitamin C will cure those things, but vitamin C is absolutely fundamental in its role to produce that certain type of energy in our body when we need to accomplish something. And the caveat, the key word, the key phrase is need. I must achieve this goal. I must score this touchdown. I must help my daughter out. that type of scenario is what those catecholamines are for. And it is absolutely fundamental for us to have vitamin C in abundant quantities in our body to produce those. So imagine that you're sick. You get infected with a virus. Half of the vitamin C in your body is already going to be siphoned off for that virus. But you're also that dad at the same time trying to find tampons, is that what they're called? The pads, whatever those things are called for your daughter. You're activating those catecholamines. You have to have vitamin C for that. Or even something further on down the road, that a guy and a girl want to have sex. And this is kind of more important for the girl. There's another enzyme called glycine hydroxylase, and it's another enzyme totally dependent on vitamin C to donate electrons. And gals and girls, that helps you make, and helps guys make too, oxytocin. It's a feel-good hormone. So a lot of times girls might have troubles experiencing orgasm. They must have oxytocin in their body. They must be able to produce it to experience an orgasm and to feel relief and nurtured in that sexual moment, that sexual interaction. They need oxytocin. They need that glycine hydroxylase to work. And for that, it needs electrons from vitamin C specifically. And the scenario goes, I see it all the time, the girl, she just doesn't ever feel satisfied. And then it makes her guy feel like he just can't perform. He's trying all these things, and she's just never satisfied, never has that moment of, man, that was great. And it could just be that simple, and she might be on birth control pills at the same time, and she may have had a headache, so she took acetaminophen, which killed her vitamin C. So the guy's performing as good as he can. She just doesn't have that oxytocin that helps her have that initial feeling of, release. Now, healing. Let's move on to healing for a second with vitamin C. We also have other hydroxylases that contain iron. And hydroxylase is just, it's a group of enzymes that need vitamin C. So when we get injured, okay, let's say we were playing football, we got tackled just too much. We were surfing, scraped our foot on some reef. Or you're a filmmaker, you're trying to get that shot, and your camera fell over. You had to lunge forward to save your camera body or that $2,000, $3,000 camera lens of yours, and it's over a bed of rocks, and you suffered some damage, in the process. That little microscopic damages happen to us all the time. Even if we go to the gym, it happens all the time. We heal by making something called procollagen. Collagen is that stuff that cells need to stick to. I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this video, cytoskeleton. Well, we also have something called the extracellular matrix. It's that stuff that actually is what you look like. If you dissolve all the cells in your body, people would probably still be able to recognize you because of your collagen networks. It's like a spider web network. So your body makes something called procollagen. Collagen is one of those unique proteins that isn't ready to go and working as it's produced. It's released into the environment, your extracellular matrix, and there it matures, it morphs, it forms, and your body uses sulfur compounds for that. But in order to even get to the extracellular matrix, that procollagen, in order to get it there, you have to have those hydroxylase enzymes working. And they must have vitamin C in order to make that procollagen. And that initiates so much healing in your body, from your gut to your bones to your internal organs, to even looking pretty and having, a nice dewy skin, and I'm not going to say super thick, but illustrious hair that has a nice shine to it, not super brittle, not brittly hair where you just get a haircut and then all of a sudden you get dead ends already or split ends, or having elasticity to your skin. Man, all those things, vitamin C is immediately, directly involved. Not to mention, this is just the one little small part. I'm about to enter this video. This is one little small part. you've all heard that vitamin C is a wonderful antioxidant. And that kind of belies the importance of vitamin C as an antioxidant. In juxtaposition, we've all heard, oh, take blueberries, they're great antioxidants. Yes, they are good, but there's something that you need to know, and this is one little area. There's a lot of confusion about this. Here's hopefully some clarification. There's a category of pharmacology called pharmacokinetics. That was kind of like a big phrase I just said. Let me break it down. Pharmacology is basically the study of how things go into the body and then leave the body. How do they affect the body when they're in there? Pharmacokinetics is more specifically, okay, you just ate a substance, where is it metabolized and how quickly is it excreted? So when we look at blueberries, for example, we talk about their antioxidant powers, okay? That goes into our body. We experience the antioxidant power of the blueberry for about maybe an hour or so, and then it's gone. Never to help us in any other way whatsoever. We eat it, it does its work for a short period of time, and then it's out. Vitamin C is different. So our body has a systemic network of antioxidants. Vitamin C is a part of that. Other parts of that are glutathione, lipoic acid, vitamin E, selenium, coenzyme Q10. Vitamin C, I already mentioned that, but they form a network. And the cool thing about this network is that when you add vitamin C, by extension, you're boosting all the other ones because they donate electrons to each other and help maintain how much antioxidant potential you have. It is so much more powerful than just taking the best superfood, the best berry, whatever that you can think of, because the antioxidant network lives in you 24 hours a day, and it's the best antioxidant defense that you have. Literally. Now, quick question that I get all the time. That was going to be the end, but this is the end that just popped up. Is there a difference between just taking supplemental isolated vitamin C and vitamin C in a whole food formula? First and foremost, the whole food formula is always better, and here's why. It has to do with the pharmacokinetics of the products. The vitamin C that you take, the isolated vitamin C, let's say it's 1 gram of vitamin C. It's good, it's powerful, maybe it's 2 grams. In your body, you get a spike of vitamin C, and then it's gone. You get a spike of vitamin C and it's gone. That's good, it has its potential. But the life of that spike is here. And the duration of how long that vitamin C is active in your body is not very long compared to whole food vitamin C. Instead of a spike like this, the chart actually looks like a wave like that. And the reason why it's a wave and not a spike is because there are things called bioflavonoids. I'll talk about them in a different video. They need a video in and of themselves, but they buffer how much vitamin C we're exposed to. So as we eat vitamin C from a whole food source, we're getting constant absorption throughout the vitamin C going through our alimentary canal. We're getting constant absorption because the bioflavonoids help keep vitamin C safe in our gut, but at the same time slowly release it and slowly release it and slowly release it. So by default, that one is always going to be the best because it ensures the length of time vitamin C is active in your body is so much longer than just a supplement of vitamin C. Now, I like both, okay? Sometimes you need that initial shock of a super strong vitamin C. Like, let's say you got infected with a virus and that was the only thing you had. Yes, get that single dose of it. It's only vitamin C. Yes, I recommend that. But just for a multi-purpose, everyday living, whole food, herbal sources of vitamin C are by far the best that you can get.